You want something which can't be stopped. The difference between the winners and the losers is the winners buy something valuable and the losers are afraid. Fire's coming. What do rich people own when they get rich? There was never a perfect digital capital. There was never a digital instrument. What do you want, a building or Bitcoin? I think the risk-reward proposition for Bitcoin in the year 2024 is...
Wait a minute, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoinzilla, your platform for daily cryptocurrency analysis and news. Our mission is to keep it simple. Bitcoinzilla offers engaging information that is easy to understand. Our analysts keep their eyes on the latest news to provide valuable insights via email. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join our community of 10,000 subscribers and experience the new edge with Bitcoinzilla. Subscribe now. How did Saylor stress diverse capital investments in 2024? Highlighting the monetary premium in residential real estate. How did Michael Saylor express confidence in Bitcoin's 2024 prospects, citing institutional adoption, regulatory clarity, and the lack of widespread understanding? How did he advocate for Bitcoin as a digital capital alternative, especially during currency collapses? Let's join Michael Saylor in this interview about these topics and more.
Right. How much capital is locked up in real estate, equity, currency, bonds, collectibles, trophy assets, precious metals in the year 2024? Right? There's probably half the value of most residential real estate is the monetary premium. It's the capital. So, like, how do you know this? I give you a little test. Go to Miami Beach, go up and down the beach, and then count the number of lights on in a condo building on the beach. Or go to Monaco and count the number of lights on. And what you'll find is that 80 to 90% of all of the condos don't have lights on at night. So people have huge amounts of capital tied up in these idle assets. And there's a lot of reasons for them, but one reason is because they feel like their money is safer there. So in the 20th century, people basically bought sports teams. I mean, ask yourself, what do rich people own when they get rich? They bought sports teams, they bought real estate, they bought companies, they bought land, they bought timber rights, they bought oil rights, they bought gold, they bought, bonds. They just bought stuff. Why? Because they knew if they left their money in the bank, it was going to dwindle away. Buy anything. They buy Picassos, they buy art, right? They buy stuff. So there was never a perfect digital capital. There was never a digital instrument where I could, like, if you were a rich Russian and you had a choice between buying a bunch of real estate in Moscow or buying Bitcoin, well, with ex post facto hindsight, looking back for the last 30 years, okay, now let's play that out, and you're a rich Nigerian. Now you're a rich, Turk. Now you're rich in Lebanon, right? And we don't have to be rich. You can, anybody with any amount of money anywhere in the world, right? You've got the last 100 years of history. You live in Germany in 1930. What do you want, a building or Bitcoin? You live in Argentina. What do you want? You want to own land? You want to own a building? You want a company? You want Bitcoin? The currency is going to collapse 5 times in 140 years. 5 times.
Michael Saylor posted a message on X, formerly Twitter, on Wednesday, encouraging Bitcoin holders to stay humble. StackSats. Saylor is one of the most vocal advocates of Bitcoin, and he has influenced other companies and individuals to invest in the cryptocurrency. Michael Saylor is about $700 million richer after the 3-day rally in his company's stock and the price of Bitcoin. Saylor is MicroStrategy's biggest investor, owning about 12% of the company and 17,732 Bitcoins personally. Also, Saylor is one of the principal evangelists of Bitcoin, co-authoring a book about the cryptocurrency in 2023.
I think the risk-reward proposition for Bitcoin in the year 2024 is better than any other time in the history of the asset because you have institutional adoption, you have regulatory clarity, you see capital coming into the space, and yet still you can do the survey yourself. Ask 100 of your friends if they're fully invested in Bitcoin and if they understand it. And if 95 say no, right, I would say do your own research. but Bitcoin's 15 years old. So let's look at other great investments. 15 years after Manhattan was founded, was it a good investment? We can start 200 years after Manhattan was founded. In 1776, roll the clock forward, 1791. Was it a good investment? And was real estate Manhattan in 1791 a good investment? Was it a good investment in 1865 after the Civil War? Was it a good investment in 1970? Was it a good investment 15 years afterwards in, 1995? Was it a good investment in London 20 years ago? 2,000 years after the Romans showed up in London, was it a good investment to buy London property? Right? I mean, these are scarce, desirable properties, right? It's 15 years late is not late, right? The difference between the winners and the losers is the winners buy something valuable and the losers are afraid, right? The losers are afraid to buy the valuable thing because it's too expensive. New York real estate was the most expensive real estate in the United States 300 years late, right? It's always been the most expensive. Apple Computer was founded, I think, 1976, around then. 15 years after Apple Computer was founded, was it a good investment, right? Check the price of Apple stock in 1993 or 1996. I think in 1998, Michael Dell told the board they should shut it down, give the money back to the shareholders. But the truth is, at many, many points in time, it was a good investment. I think, as I'd said, the real key is to understand what is Bitcoin's use case. It's digital capital. Well, how big is that? $400 trillion?
Bitcoin's long-term value proposition, despite its volatility and high price. Michael Saylor said that Bitcoin has a history of outperforming other assets and creating new wealth opportunities for investors. He compared Bitcoin to Manhattan real estate and Apple Computer, two examples of assets that were once considered expensive, but proved to be valuable over time. He emphasized the importance of understanding Bitcoin's use case as digital capital that can capture a large share of the global market. Bitcoin whales, the entities that own large amounts of the cryptocurrency. While banks and investment firms are becoming more prominent in the Bitcoin market, there are also other players such as exchanges, miners, early adopters, and anonymous holders. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to BitcoinZella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.